Welcome back. I'm in conversation with Transport Minister Fikile Mbalula. Minister, before the break, you were saying, let's accept that there is no protection for any assets of PRASA. You talked about a new implementation plan. Now, people have heard plans before. Give us dates, give us implementation dates. From when onward will, for example, people and the trains be protected from, criminal syndicates and others that have used the infrastructure of PRASA to enrich themselves?
We've got the whole year, starting from when we put Mpondo there.
And when is that?
The whole year up to December. We've got up to December to ensure that this place, you will have some trains back in operation by August, September in the central line, and then a full operation will be in April. That goes for central line in Cape Town and Mabopane. And all other corridors will then fall into place in terms of themselves being upgraded. And then we're looking at this, we're implementing new security plans amidst court interdicts that we are facing. By May, we should see a full rollout plan of new security at PRASA as part of this plan going forward. Now, the issue of PRASA has obviously been coming on for a long time. We've got a process at the Zondo Commission where the former PRASA board chair, Popo Molefe, has been testifying, and he's obviously been talking about the corruption and the state capture that actually happened, which is, of course, corruption at a massive industrial scale. Let's just take a listen to Popo Molefe describing the acquisition and procurement process involving a very specific company.
The investigation, Chairperson, that we conducted demonstrated conclusively that that procurement process was flawed, was corrupt, or let me say corrupted, that Sifambo itself, notwithstanding the fact that it did not meet the requirement set out in the RFP, this being, amongst others, the need for them to have a track record in rail business, either be leasing or manufacturing. They needed a track record. Secondly, they needed to demonstrate that they had the skills necessary to carry out a program of that size and as complex as it was.
That's, of course, Popo Molefe, the former board chair of PRASA. That is a pretty heavy indictment. Minister, where are those, coaches that were bought? Are they in your possession? Have you seen them? We know that they weren't fitting onto the railway lines because they weren't in the proper specification. Have you ever set eyes on this procurement?
I intend to take media to see these trains. They've been sold now.
Sold to whom?
In the auction. So I don't know who bought them. So
was that before your time?
No, they've been bought now. I mean.
So how do you not know who they've been sold to?
No, I don't know who bought I don't pay attention to such. It's not important for me.
But have we recouped the money that we've spent on it? Because apart from the fact that people need to be arrested and investigated around the fact that Popo Molefe has clearly indicated, and there's hundreds of thousands of documents of evidence in the Worksman report around this, have we been able to recoup the money? The fact that this has now been sold off, what monies have you recouped?
Karima, as we speak, part of the work it's happening at PRASA is to clean. And that includes Shifambo, those who got this thing irregularly. Recouping the money means arrest forfeiture and get the money, follow it to those who have bought farms and all of that. That process is being followed heavily as we speak and with determination. SIU is on the ground. Those who are complicit in the act will be dealt with. And that is part of the process that is new now at PRASA. So it has not been dealt with. That is why I would say I didn't pay attention to that, because Those things should have happened a long time ago. I mean, the trains were there, and then they were being sold in the auction to recoup the money, but it's very little that you'll get out of that compared to what was spent.
So given the fact that you didn't recoup the money through auctioning off the trains, what is your recommendation as the political head that's responsible for PRASA for people that were involved in this deal? Ought they to be prosecuted? Are you in conversation with the NPA about how far they are so that you have an update on whether these people are actually going to be brought to court?
You should invite the administrator. You'll marvel at the job he's doing there.
Are you satisfied with the job that he's doing?
Till this far, in less than 3 months, he's focused, is on the mission. He's in touch with law enforcement. I don't want to interfere with law enforcement. I want them to arrest people without fear or favor. I'm not operational. So the administrator is, I think, he's focused on that job, and he's getting all the support from the state organs, and I'm very happy about that. And I think in no time, going forward, people will be arrested, I can assure you.
Now, that happened because processes were corrupted. What have you done subsequently to ensure that the processes are not corrupted? What measures have you put in place for procurement, for example, that will prevent a repeat of what we saw here?
We've got an excellent team there. We've got Treasury, and they've seconded their procurement officer at PRASA working with the administrator. Marvelous job. All these crooks who are getting it easy to loot money of PRASA, it's not going to be easy. Of course, the place has been run down in terms of systems, control, accountability, supply chain management. That holyhood is coming to an end. And the administrator have got my mandate in terms of the terms of reference to deal with that. I'm not talking about the past. I'm talking about now. We're cleaning the past. And at the same time, we are ensuring that going forward, we bring stability. And that stability will not have come with appointing another board. Another board. In a year, you'll have 4 boards. That's why my issue has never been about not appointing a board. I can't appoint a board in a corrupt, run-down place that has failed South Africans. And I must give a statement every year, 4 billion. Down the drain, 3 billion, down the... I can't, Karima. That's not my job. My job is to arrest crooks and fix what the AG have said must be fixed there. Now, and that is what we are doing within this period.
In terms of the cleanup, how many people at PRASA are currently arrested or facing charges? How many are under investigation?
Arrest will come depending on the work the law enforcement is doing. I've got the report that law enforcement is working all out, looking at the past report, including the work that Popo Molefe was doing, and then cleaning up the space. By last week, I was informed that 12 people were basically suspended, and then that will follow. And
what levels are these 12 people at?
Top executives. Okay. Top executives at PRASA. Heads are going to roll, and they must roll, because monies have disappeared here. And then those who are clean will come along.
Now, I'm going to be speaking after the break with former IPID head Robert McBride about talking the powers of corridor around an amnesty deal for people alleged to have been involved in corruption. You sitting with a portfolio where hundreds of billions of rands have disappeared. Are you in favour of an amnesty for people linked to state capture?
No. I can't speak on that. I think Judge Zondo must do his job. He must not be derailed by crooks who think that that place is a place to go and mess up, waste his time. He must do his job and focus on these people and the terms of reference. And he's doing that diligently. It is not going to be easy because they are going to run away with information, delay, do all of these things. There is a purpose for that commission. At the end of it, the results must come out. Even before the end, law enforcement, Judge Zondo have said that he's not prohibiting anybody from being charged or, brought to book and that is what is important.
Now, Minister, often people confuse the Zondo Commission of Inquiry for law enforcement agencies having to do their work. The two processes work hand in glove with each other. I'm asking you a very specific question. Some people are floating the idea of an amnesty because the governing party is so deeply implicated, senior leaders of the party so deeply implicated. As a member of the National Executive Committee of the African National Congress, as a minister in cabinet, are you in favour of an amnesty for those associated and linked to
No, there
capture?
should be no amnesty for corruption. There can't be, ANC can't be complicit with that, even though we have not discussed it, but there's never been a meeting of the ANC I've attended that says people must get amnesty. There cannot be amnesty for corruption. There had to be amnesty for apartheid. It was enough for us to be where we are today. Why should we give amnesty to corrupt activities? Why? What will South Africans say to us? We established a commission for state capture. Thereafter, there must be amnesty. This is not the Truth Commission for corruption. This is about dealing with corruption and dealing with state capture so that this does not happen ever again.
And given the fact that this is a double-edged sword, it's going to cut in and outside, including in the African National Congress. So you're essentially saying law enforcement agencies must do what they're supposed to do. ANC
has been very clear that its members and everybody else must cooperate with Zondo. So the fact that I'm a member of the ANC, somebody can go to the Zondo Commission and say that I've done something wrong. There's no way the ANC comes in there. I must go and answer my sins. If I'm not guilty, I can prove myself that I did not do any wrongdoing, I must do that. That's what the ANC is in favor of. We are not in favor of anything that seeks to delay or seek to undermine the commission in whatever way. So if ever I'm innocent, I believe within the definition of the rules of the commission, people must be allowed to go and appear there.
Minister, let's just bring it back to the current crisis. You're the Minister for Transport. As we said earlier, our public transport system is terribly unreliable. We've got the coronavirus. We've got 38 cases. What is your message to commuters who use buses, trains and taxis every single day? What should they do? What would you like for them to do to ensure that they keep themselves safe? And what are you promising to do for commuters?
Let's have a pact with our society. Do what you can do, washing hands, sanitize, will come to the party. These coming weeks, we will detailed measures in trains, in taxis, what we're going to do to support the mission of the Minister of Health and all of us in the fight against coronavirus.
All right, Minister, thank you so very much. We've run out of time. We are going to be speaking with former IPID boss Robert McBride on this so-called amnesty deal that is being floated. Don't go anywhere.